All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's YouTube live discussion on insurance recruitment, trends and challenges in 2025. My name is Mark, your host and moderator. So, the topic of today's discussion is that the insurance industry has seen significant shifts in how agencies recruit and retain 1099 contractors. Today, we're going to be diving deep into what's working in recruitment, what's challenging, and how technology is reshaping these recruitment practices. So, I'm joined by two industry experts today. Ruben Mirzajanian, Senior Marketing Director at WFG, and Mr. Spencer Hall, Executive Marketing Director at GFI. So before we begin our main discussion, I'd like to ask each of you to briefly introduce yourselves and share a little bit about your current role and experience. Ruben, would you mind starting us off?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mark. Well, my name is Ruben Mirzajanian. I am a Senior Marketing Director with World Financial Group. A little bit about me. I am a father of three. I have a degree in computer science, but I decided to go into financial services industry when it came about. It's an amazing industry. I love being in it. Um, Other than that, I have nothing to share. That's about it for me right now.
Amazing. Awesome. Spencer, how about yourself?
Yes, sir. Thanks for Mr. Mark. Uh, I am executive marketing director at Unpack. Been in this about 3 years. I'm a retired federal officer. I have about 31 years experience. Been with GFI since they launched a year ago. An inspirational company. Uh, we inspire, families to dream again. We educate, we encourage, we inspirational. We inspire others to dream, not our own. We have big goals to protect millions of families in this industry. And my passion is my motto pretty much is no family left behind. We want everyone to have equal access to resources, opportunities that otherwise may be excluded or marginalized. When I say everyone, I'm just not talking about clients in the United States. We are really global. We're in all 50 states, and we're going in 55 other countries to help protect families.
That's awesome. I love that motto, Spencer. I think there might be a little bit of an audio cutting out a little bit on us when you're talking, just so you know. All right. But yeah, thank you guys both for those introductions. So let's dive right into our first topic. So insurance recruitment has always had some challenges, but they've definitely evolved over time. So I'd like to ask both of you, what are the top two challenges that you face right now when recruiting 1099 contractors for insurance sales? Ruben.
Well, Mark, that's a great question. I've thought about this often, a lot about something like this and what's the motivation behind it. And I think it's lack of motivation and drive. When you talk to people around, and I have to have a conversation with a lot of people about their drive, their motivation, and what they're trying to do. And I came about understanding that, there's not a person that doesn't want to make money. I've never met anybody that doesn't want to make money, right? Everybody wants to make a little bit more money. But when you're talking to them about this and we're talking about this, their vision lacks something. They're get into their head. They're too much into their head. They're too much thinking too much and not acting enough, okay? Their vision is so limited that they only see tomorrow. They don't see themselves a month from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now, or 5 years from now, where they can be. So when you're talking about them and about vision and stuff like that, their thought process is, yeah, I want to do this, but I'm not able to do this. I can't do this. They always talk themselves into something negative. And human brain. When you think about something in reality, if you think about something long enough, you're always going to take the negative route. So my advice to people is stop thinking and stop reacting, go in and start action, because through action, you're going to learn. Through action, you're going to grow. And for me, yeah, it's the lack of drive and vision, because sometimes they don't see themselves a day from today, right? Mm-hmm. They have sometimes, Mark, we have this 9 to 5 attitude, go to work at 9 o'clock and finish at 5 o'clock and get out of there and just do enough just to keep my security going. And it's safety zone. It's the zone that they're comfortable in. It's the zone that they want to belong in. And when you're at that zone, it's really difficult to pull somebody out And what we always try to do is, put them in a position of thinking like, hey, you know what? If you think yourself, if you do something, because for me, if anybody can do something, I can do it. Mark, if you could do something, I can do it. Maybe I'm not the fast enough pace that you did it. Maybe it takes you, a year to do it. Maybe it takes me 3 years to do it, but I still will be able to do it. So ambition, lack of drive, motivation, and vision for themselves for the future is stopping from people from acting a lot, from getting into action and doing it. And I believe that's the one. It's too much into their head, too much thinking, and nothing ever good comes out of thinking. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know if Spencer agrees or not, but I'm sure he does.
I think so too. That's awesome. I always think about the 5 minute. For the longest time, people thought you could have run a mile faster than 5 minutes. Now, what do they do at the Olympics? They do it at 4 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly how it is. And sometimes people do not put themselves in the position, in the situation for them to win. They have to be in the environment of growth. And once they come to the environment of growth, they have to be, say, you know what, I'm here. I'm in the environment. Let me put myself through this and see if not see, it's going to happen. If you put yourself in there and you drive and do everything, it's going to happen. But again, thought process and lack of motivation. And if something goes wrong the first time, nobody gets up to do something the first time, right? Olympic athletes, I think they practice 4 years every day for like a minute and a half of an event. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're sitting down doing all of that just one day. So you have to have the vision that, hey, eventually I'm going to get better. Eventually it's going to happen for me. Eventually it's going to do it. All I need to do is just keep my mind at it and just grow and with the industry. Because if you just think about getting, a little bit better every day, just a little bit better, not a lot better, just a little bit better every day, where are you going to be? Where are you going to eventually end up with, right? And yeah, that sometimes stops people from growing. That sometimes stops people from doing things. And obviously a lot of negative thinking attracts a lot of negative people around you that give you negative attitude at the same time, which people tend to listen to negative people. A lot of people don't listen to positive people. I like to surround myself with positive people that always tells me you can do this, And I have people always tell me, what do you mean? You're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. You can do more. You can do more. But some people surround themselves with this negative attitude, negative people, and they suffer from the negative attitude and negativity that comes their way.
Yeah.
And it stops them from acting, which is the most important thing that you need to do is action.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that, Ruben. Most people, they say, you're an average of the 5 people you hang around. And so if you hang around people who got that negative mindset, most time they'll draw you to that. But, my challenge is, Mark, I would say first, trying to find individuals, with the entrepreneur mindset. Most people are looking for a job. We don't offer jobs. We offer opportunities, opportunity to become financially free, opportunity to spend more time with the family. Opportunity to build your own agencies, here, however, the average person probably have about a 6th or 7th grade education when it comes to financing, and trying to convince them to handle finances of others can be kind of difficult. At the same time, I believe, I read somewhere where there was an estimate about 102 million uninsured adults in the United States. That's about 42%. So if you can get people to believe, if you can't get them to believe in insurance, which is my opinion, is a vehicle to generational wealth, then it's going to be tough trying to get them to sell insurance if they don't believe in it. And secondly, most people, think that they have what it takes, or they don't think they have what it takes to pass an exam, to acquire a license, or they think they have to go door to door to make a sale. They haven't realized that technology has come a long ways, even in the insurance industry. It's not the way it was when I grew up. And an older gentleman, come around in a red truck, show up at your door each month and collect $10 from your parents, and then try to sell you a Viking on the way out. Most of the population don't understand the different products that insurance have evolved into. I mean, they might have this stigma, of walking and the other way when fast, when you see someone with insurance guy coming towards you. Therefore, they don't want to be that person everyone walking away from.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. No, I have noticed a shift in the industry. Times are getting tough, and people are looking for more remote opportunities now. The challenges is addressing their concerns. They're looking for a place to plant their flag. It's just a matter of which organization. I mean, they're looking for a company with good training, some leadership, technology. They want to find. The first question I get a lot is, you guys have leads. How you inquire your clients. If you can solve those issues, you can have some success. But as some things Ruben is saying, that's a lot of challenges we have. People is getting them out the employee mindset into entrepreneur mindset.
Yep. That's what a great point. Wow, you guys both really had some good ideas on this one. Yeah. I haven't heard about the door-to-door sales in a while like that. So so great. So guys, let's move on to our second topic. And this kind of is a natural next step. It focuses on retention. All right. So we talked a little bit about recruiting and some of the challenges that we're facing with recruiting new agents, getting them out of that employee mindset and bringing them into more of an ownership mindset. But retaining good contractors, that's just as important. So what strategies for each of you have actually moved the needle when it comes to improving the retention of 1099 insurance contractors? Since Ruben let us off last time, Spencer, would you like to start us off on this one?
Sure. That's a great question, Mark. Selling someone the dream of becoming financially free is kind of easy, but getting them to accept those rejections over and over is a whole nother story. This, I like to tell my agents, is a contact sport. You got to talk to people, and it's a numbers game. You can talk to 100 people, and you might get 70 no's. 30 of them will come to the meeting, but you only probably get 15 applications out of that. Get a policy. For a young agent, those no's can be very intimidating, especially if they get 15 in a row before they get the first yes. So you got to have I think you got to have what's called a strong onboarding system. You got to have a system in place to make them successful. You got to do it early and you got to do it often, because the first thing you need to do is take them through this client experience. They say you can't sell shoes barefoot. So it's kind of hard to be successful if you're not convinced by the product you're selling. So we want to always take them through the process they're going to take their clients through, make sure they're in a good policy and all that. And second, you have to get them paid immediately. Commission is just what it says. It's commission. If you don't sell, you don't get paid. If people don't get paid, they don't stick around. So you got to have a good recognition system to play. I mean, some people they'll fight for ribbons before they fight for cash. So friendly competition on your team is very healthy. Running contests and incentives every month, it produces production. So you get them in a group chat. I mean, have weekly meetings, create a winning environment. We train them online, but we build them in person. And we invite them to big events. I'll let them know up front, I can't change their lives, but I can take them to life-changing events, but at the end of the day, you gotta have to stretch their vision, sell them the dream, let them know often and early, how much you believe in them. You also, have to be a first, what I call a do it first leader. You can't expect them to do something you don't do or you haven't done. You have to follow a system that's in place and most definitely make sure they stay close to the fire. What I mean by staying close to the fire, that they go into meetings, they go into the training, they participate in the contest. Because if not going to meetings and hearing others that having success in training, they starting to get cold. They start to drift off and you lose them. So at the end of the day, what I try to practice, Mark, is the 4 R's. When I say 4 R's, you recruit them, you get them results, then you form a relationship, and that pretty much a good chance you'll retain them. So, but if you do it opposite, you get a relationship first, they probably not going to get you no results. So you got to keep it in a business atmosphere, in a positive atmosphere.
Yeah, that is awesome. 4 R's. I need to remember that. You made it easy. Ruben, how about yourself?
Well, I think Spencer covered most of it. But yeah, that's exactly right. For me, it is important because we talked about the challenges of bringing people into our industry and showing them the vision. What you could be. That's amazing. But that's just the start. That's just basically just the beginning tipping point of it. After that, you got to train them, you got to mentor them, you got to challenge them, you got to put them in an environment. And obviously, if they don't make any money, they don't stay. So training is very, very important. Teaching them the understanding that, they can be able to close. Closing, sometimes people think closing is a bad thing. Closing is not a bad thing. Closing is helping people. If you close, you help a person. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I'm closing somebody in an insurance that is going to bring them money, is going to supplement their income in retirement, I'm doing them a favor. Not a favor to me. I'm doing what I have to do. I'm doing what I want to do. But I'm doing something for them. So they're going to need to learn those things through trainings, to doing it, which training is very, very important. Mentoring is talking to them, making sure that they're always focused on their what their goals are, understanding their goals and focusing on them, making sure they know that you care for them. Caring for a person is very, very important for me. And you have to have a strong leadership. You cannot be a weak leader. Weak leaders always lose people. You know what I mean? If you start buying excuses and doing all those things, then you're not doing anybody a favor at that point. You're not doing anybody any good at that point. So mentoring them and challenging them, making sure that they can do it. And if you do enough and you show them, like Spencer said, do it first type of a person, and you go out there and you say, you know what, I'm going. Why don't you come with me? Let's go together. Let's walk together. Let's go in that environment. I can take you in that environment and show you that, this environment used to be very uncomfortable for me, but now it's comfortable for me. Now I can take you and show you that you can be comfortable in this uncomfortable zone one day, that I can show you what you can do and to improve yourself. And obviously encourage praise and recognition is one of the most important thing, that people want to know that that they're doing something right. Everybody loves recognition. Everybody loves praising, and obviously the traditional industry, they probably don't do anything like that. For us, we believe in that. We believe in recognition. We believe in praising people. We believe in that, if once you recognize a person for their efforts, whatever they're doing, because I do believe everybody has a blessing within them, Mark. Every single person has a blessing within them. Sometimes they don't see it. Sometimes they don't know it. And for us, as their mentors and leaders or their trainers, it is to take out those things and make sure they see it. Make sure they see that they can do everything that is out there for them to be successful in. And so if you spend some time, and putting in the environment, like as I take them to a life-changing event, like Spencer said, see the big vision, see the big picture, and see that, hey, you know what, if there's 1,000 or 2,000 people are doing this and they're making money, hey, what's wrong with me? I'm able to do this thing too. I have 2 feet, I have 2 hands, I have a brain, I can learn, maybe slower than some other people, but I can learn. I can do this. That's what I thought at first. I was like, man, I think I could do this. If you can do it, so could I. Yeah. But my leaders, my trainers always put a lot of belief in me and told me what I can do. And they spent a lot of time teaching me, educating me, doing sometimes things for me to see, for me to duplicate. And from that point on, you already get into this mindset of, I can do this. I will do this. I'm going to do this. And then you start winning. And then comes making money, right? You want people to make money. Everybody comes into this business to make money. They don't come into this business to play. And our job is to make sure that people that come in make money. And one of the big thing is, like I said, everybody needs help. I think everybody needs financial education. Everybody needs to learn. And we're able to help them do all those things. And help them and train them and challenge them. Challenging is one of the most important things, put challenge in front of them. And, everybody loves challenges. I do, obviously. And, and from that point on, they start growing it. And every day, little bit growth and puts them in the right position to be able to win.
Yep. Those are awesome points. Spencer, did you have something to say?
I agree with 100%, taking ownership. take them field training forums. We do about 10 of them, and until they feel independent. And I tell them, if you're not ready, I don't kick no bird out the nest. If you're not, we'll keep doing 11, 12 performance and until they succeed. I even go on phone calls with them. We make phone calls for them. I let them hear me get rejected, so that it's okay. So we have phone scripts and things we call, and when I go through the first 25 and let them go to the next 25, and they'll kind of see, I get told no too. I get hung up on too. I get told bad things, but you don't take it personal because we got something they just don't know they need.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Spencer. One of the thing is the business doesn't get easier. We just get better. That's it.
Yeah.
You just get better. It's not being rejected. It's a no, it's not a rejection. I mean, if that was, I would never be married. I am married and I have 3 kids, so that's so the point is, everything is the same. All you need to do is just gotta learn. You're going to become better at everything. You're going to become better at talking to people. You're going to be better at explaining to people. You're going to become better at the things that you're going to do. So believe in your abilities and stand by your leader and watch what they do and how they do it and duplicate and move forward every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you fill in behind them. Yep. Yeah, it's funny too. I always think of baseball. Because it's like, what do the best batters bat? 300.
Exactly.
300%. Same thing with sales.
That's
they missed
right.
the ball. They missed the ball more than they hit it. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, Mark.
You just got to miss it less than the next guy. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, awesome, guys. You guys sounds like you're really passionate about retention. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. So now that we talked kind of about the present and strategies for retaining and bringing on new talent, let's talk a little bit about the future. And digital platforms like Hirey were becoming increasingly a part of the recruitment landscape, right? And how do you see, and you even touched on that in some of your other answers about the landscape's evolving, technology's changing, and you have a lot more options available now. So how do you see these types of platforms evolving to better support insurance recruitment specifically? And what features or capabilities in those platforms do you think would make the biggest difference? I think Spencer started us off last time. So Ruben, would you mind?
Well, obviously, we are in a technology world. World just got smaller, right? Back in the days, I didn't know what's going on in other countries, but because of technology, everything got smaller. And we have to evolve. Obviously. We have to evolve with the technology. Being in a platform that's going to offer people for us to talk to, for us to be able to sit down with. I live in Los Angeles, California. Okay, this is where I am. I'd be able to talk to people around my Angelinos around LA. That's it. That's what I can do. I'm not going to be able to fly to Florida for a day and talk to some people and fly back. But through technology, it is possible for me to get to know other people. For example, I got a chance to meet people from Alabama. I got a chance to meet people from Texas, from Mississippi, for crying out. I don't know if I've never been to Mississippi. I've been to Texas and I met people in Texas. I've never been to Alabama. I had a chance to meet people there. And that just gives us a way to connect with more people. Our job is to make sure that a lot of people know what we're doing. Okay, what is it what we're trying to do? What is it that we're trying to do for families, for people around us? That is very, very important for me. The most important thing is helping families. Helping people is the number one thing. All right. Before I help anybody, I want the person that's sitting down in front of me. I want to do everything possible to make sure that person reach their goals. And for me, through technology, someone like Hirey, I'd be able to reach out to so many different people and talk to so many different people from all over United States I possibly never get to talk to and never meet and never see. I love technology as far as that way goes, and I would love to see people understand, what we are trying to do. So when they come to talk to us, they have a little bit basic understanding where we are and where we're trying to go. Okay, that is important for me. I want people to understand that we are in business of helping people, not only through the strategies that we have going in the financial services industry, but also dream selling that Spencer covered. Okay, that you'll be able to achieve anything. And So through Hirey apps and through every other technology that we have going on, you'll be able to connect with a lot more people. And I love that about that. I love to be able to talk to some people that I've never met from another state. We're sort of a little bit different, California and talking to other people, but we are the same. We are different, but we are the same. We feel the same things. We want the same things. We do the same things. And it's so cool to be able to get to know other people from other states. And technology makes that possible. So I love that part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Changed quickly.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Very insightful. So Spencer, kind of let's move over to what's your perspective on this? How's recruitment technology? How does it need to evolve to better suit your industry?
Well, Ruben hit right on point. You can get more done. I mean, think about it. You don't have to get in the car and go drive to knock on the door, do an appointment, then drive back across town. I get off one call and go straight to the next call. It's all Zoom, all in person. Like I said, I can get 50 people here. I can have all my agents at one time. They don't have to be in my living room, but they actually on my computer screen in boxes. And I can have 100 of them here, and so it just allows you more time. But you think about it, other industries have evolved. When I see how Uber has taken over the taxi industry, you don't see many yellow taxi cabs anymore. Think about how Amazon taking over the shopping industry. It kind of forced a lot of pop and mom stores to close down because you can get on Amazon, you can shop 24/7. You don't have to get in traffic. You have the package brought right to your door without even have to get into traffic and fight long lines in the store. Look how Netflix has taken over the movie rental industry. I don't see any blockbusters on my corner store fronts anymore. You no longer need to get a photo album and store all your pictures because Facebook lets you post to the world. So the same thing is kind of needed here in our industry. In some cases it have involved, in the financial service industry, I mentioned at the top of broadcast, we're a fintech company. There are some technology out there, some things we use that I can send a prospect a link and it does the presentations for me. All the clients or the prospects have to do is decide which product they like or if they want to join the business or not. All they gotta do is swipe the string and it's interactive. I mean, I don't have to be involved. There's some technology out there that has clients who are looking for insurance. All you have to do is call them up. It's called a leads program. You know what I mean? They're looking for what we have, and we can call exactly what they're looking for. So you don't have to spend a lot of time trying to share or sell anything to them. You just present it to them. I mean, this works well for new agents who may be somewhat of introverts in the beginning. There's technology out there that you can get clients approved in 15 minutes with no underwriting. Those days where it takes 3 months to get a client approved, they're kind of disappearing. In some cases, no matter how sick they may be, there's some technology in place where that client had a 95% chance to get approved in 15 minutes as well. Where they got diabetes, heart problems, kidneys issues, they might not get a $2 million term policy, but we'll get them something. And it's just the technology, just AI, just searches all these companies. Excuse me. When you're talking about retaining recruits, technologies in this industry is about to explode. You know what I mean? Like I said, I can send a QR code to a client. They fill out their own application. They get instant approval without me being involved. And you get 100% commission instantly. I don't have to start. For a new recruit, if you send them this, they don't need training to do that. You know what I mean? They just need to know how to share the product the client is signing up for. AI has been a game changer for this industry. Those companies that don't follow that technology, in my opinion, they pretty much might disappear like some of those other corporations I mentioned earlier that on other industry. So technology, for me, I don't think I'll be in this business, been 31 years retired from law enforcement, if it wasn't sitting in my living room and working for myself.
Yeah. That's awesome. The kind of the great equalizer. Awesome, guys. Those are both great answers. And wow, you made me think about how fast technology's changed just since I've been alive. It's crazy. Well, so we've covered some great ground so far. So now let's open it up to some questions from our audience. And we do have one here. And this one, I think, is going to resonate with a lot of our viewers. So today, many agencies still rely on some of those traditional recruitment methods we touched on earlier. Now, what would you guys say to someone that's hesitant about using a platform like Hirey? Ruben, do you want to start off?
Well, in business, you always have to evolve. So you have to always try all different avenues for you to succeed, for you to be able to get out there and do certain things. So if you limit yourself to possibility of talking to more people, you're limiting yourself to possibility of talking and recruiting and helping and building more people. So my thing is, don't limit yourself. Don't try to tie your hands behind your back. You always have to have all different opportunities, all different ways, all different angles, right? You just got to do more. And if a possibility of hiring is going to be able to help you, recruit and talk to more people, why don't you just try it? Give it a shot, see what happens. You're all we're going to do is going to learn how not to do it, right? That's the only thing. So if I'm trying to do something, that's going to teach me, okay, this doesn't work. Let me try this avenue. If this doesn't work, let me try this avenue. But it's going to help you, branch yourself into more of the things to do it. For us, for me specifically, for everybody, I'm sure Spencer is that way as well, that I try not to limit myself. I try to always, be able to talk to more people. If I'm going to be able to talk to 10 people at my house, I'm going to talk to 10 people at my house. If I have to talk to 10 people on Zoom, I'm going to talk to 10 people on Zoom. You know what I mean? If I have to go to Hirey and talk to some people through Hirey and talk to some people and find out what their thought process is and what they're doing, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be able to limit myself, because once you limit yourself, you're basically cutting your feet off. You're not going to be able to walk. So my advice is, give it a shot. Get out in front. Okay, do more. Do the things that you need to do. If it doesn't work, one way that doesn't work, you move on to the next one. Simple as that for me.
Yeah,
Spencer.
Yeah, I agree 100% with Ruben. You think about it, the generation these days are not as social as some generations. And when I say not social, they go to social media to get the information. And so you have to put yourself out there. And as many outlets you can, there's a lot of different outlets, social media outlets out there. And so it's not one shoe fit all. So the more you put yourself out there, the better chance you get into connecting with someone that you're trying to connect with. I like to tell my agents that we are not secret agents. And we need people to know who we are and what we do. And so just like many other social media outlets out there, I believe Hirey gives you advantage to shop for your own potential business partners right from your own fingertips. I mean, you can see their profile, you can read their resumes, see their experiences. You can even ask questions in the chat to see if they qualify for an interview. I mean, it's a place to start a discussion for me. I send out 100 messages every day before I even get out of bed, just to start a discussion, and then the second half of the day, I'm replying to those messages and setting up interviews, the ones I think qualify for what I'm looking for. I think some of the traditional media outlets are saturated with companies fighting for the same clients. Yeah. I feel like this outlet to be helpful to my business because of the instant response I get from most people on that chat that's looking for opportunity, that I'm providing. It's personalized to the type of candidates I'm looking for. Where it's set up, you can put your profile down and you get the candidates pushed to you that you're looking for. So I think with events like these and exposure, they kind of expose your clients once they are getting to match up with agents will cause others to jump on and take advantage of the opportunity to use this platform to increase their activity in their business as well.
Yeah. You touched on some great points there. Wow. Some of my favorite points about our app too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anything quite so fast, right? Instant responses like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So guys, I got another question. This one came in and it says, what's the biggest shift you've seen in insurance sales recruitment over the past year? So we're talking recent, right? How about Spencer, actually, do you want to take the lead on this one since Ruben started us off on the last one?
Sure. You know, because of the opportunities for growth and speed, and with all these social media outlets out there, I believe companies are starting to recruit agent owners now. When you recruit an agent owner, you pretty much get the whole team. And so I believe the days for focusing on production is kind of taking the back seat to recruiting. Agents are getting burnt out. So most of them are realizing, you know, when you make a sale, it kind of helps you survive. It pays the bills, you know what I mean? But next week, guess what? Next month, you have to do it all over again. You know, when you get a recruit, it helps you retire, because some companies have systems in place to give you what we call overrides. It's not just what you do with your pen. You're getting paid on what they do, your business partners you bring in, their pen. So when you're a broker dealer, you know, you override the whole team. You know, we like to say, you know, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you build a team. You know, would you rather have one person doing 100% of the work, or would you rather have 100 people doing 1% of the work? You know, it's kind of like real estate. You know, if you flip a home, you get paid on it once, and now you got to do the work all over again. I know this because I used to be in real estate and I used to flip homes. But, you know, I got smart enough where I start renting the homes out, and I got paid on them every month as long as I owned the home. So I look at this business like that.
Yep. Yeah, it's a great metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd rather take the residual on that one. Ruben, how about yourself? This question.
Well, the past few years have not been easy on people, right? We went through big shift in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years as far as where life is and how it happens. COVID came about, and people started realizing that they're not as secure as they thought they were. Okay, everybody needs a little bit more security. Everybody needs a little bit more money. Everybody needs a little bit more of some sort of security for themselves to be able to survive. So the industry that's going to offer you more of what you're going to be able to do based on your abilities is our industry. So the shift is people understanding that they cannot rely on just traditional 9 to 5 for them to be able to survive. If something like that happens, which COVID just put a magnifying glass on it, and people realize it, that, you know what, this is something that is not sustainable if you just on a 9 to 5. So there are people out there who are just looking for, saying, you know what, I need an extra income. I need to do something more. I need to a little bit more. And for them to be able to come into an industry that you can make, in a couple of sales a month, maybe you can make a little bit more. And if you want to build an industry, if you want to build yourself an agency, you have a possibility of doing that. But some people coming in and say, you know what, I just want to make extra $2,000-$3,000 per month. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has a vision for themselves. They want to make $2,000-$3,000 a month. Hey, come in, make the couple of $2,000-$3,000 a month, supplement some of it, save it for your future. But usually when people come in, start at that point, their vision always grows, right? They always want to do more. They always say, if I can do this, I can do 6. If I can do 6, I can do 10. And that's what happens when you start to say, you know what, I can build myself a team. I can do other things. In that sense, their vision grows. So the shift happened when people realized that their security is not that secure. Okay, their security is not that much. And I've talked to a lot of people, and I see how people are just barely surviving nowadays. Just barely out there, just covering costs. Cutting from here, cutting from there, just to be able to survive. So there are people out there who say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to sustain my life. I don't want to survive. I can thrive in this country. This is the greatest country. Even though we went through this, this is the greatest country in the world. And people that are in this country, they're going to be able to thrive. So our industry offers this opportunity for people to come in and say, you know what, if I want to do this, if I can do this, and if I should do this, if I must, make more money, this is the industry that I want to be in. And from that point on, there are a lot of people that coming into the industry. We're growing really, really fast. And Spencer can tell you that, growth is enormous. People are coming in, even though there are some people who don't want to do this, but there are other people who just come in and say, you know what, I want to grow. I want to do more. I need a little bit more. I just want to be able to make more money and never be able to put my hand in my pocket, as my father used to say, and there's no money in it. Right. So that's a bad feeling. So that's the shift. So COVID put a magnifying glass on it, and people says, you know what, I have to do more. And where else to do more than in financial services industry, where all you do is help others. You
Yeah.
help others, you help yourself. That's it.
Mhm.
And if you do right with integrity and the right mindset, and you're doing for other people, and you have that in your heart that you just want to help people, this is the industry that's going to help you, thrive. It's going to help you to, shot for the moon. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. And the flexibility too. I think COVID really increased that, right? People, they want to work on their own terms now, right? They don't
Right,
want to, yeah.
right,
The orders changed. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Awesome. Great, guys. So this next question, it looks at kind of the evolution of candidate qualifications related to kind of what we talked about over the past year and COVID and how that changed things. So considering our current economic climate and all those post-COVID changes that we touched on, what would you look for in candidates today that isn't as important as it was 5 years ago, pre-COVID? Yeah. Ruben, do you want to take the start on
Well,
this?
I believe principles don't change. Times change, but principles don't change. Okay, the principle of success, principle of doing things, do not change. I look at every single person, regardless of where they come from, where they at, where they're going. There's the same principles. Okay, I mean, the values that we hold ourselves. That's different times, but values stay the same. Goals might change, but values do not change. For me, is one of the most important thing that the person has to have, and it is commitment. It is commitment to themselves. It is commitment to their family. It is commitment to their future. Because once you commit to yourself and to future and to your vision, whatever it is you do it, you're gonna do everything in your power to make sure you succeed. I mean, to reach your goals. Now, goals might be different for everybody, right? I'm saying somebody wants to say, you know what, I want to make $2,000 a month. All right, that's my goal, and that's what I want to do. Fantastic, come make $2,000 a month. If you committed to make that $2,000 a month, you get committed, you'll make that $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So commitment is a big thing, because without commitment, there is nothing.
Yeah.
If you don't commit to something, there's nothing. I mean, just look at everything that we do these days, right? If you want something, you get committed, you get it done. Mark, if you think about something in your life that you wanted and you committed to it, you got that thing done. There's no way stopping it. There's nothing's going to get in your way. All right. It's just determination. It's a commitment to get everything done. So for me, it's commitment and belief in your abilities that you're going to be able to do it. And commitment brings belief. Commitment brings belief. Commitment brings discipline. Commitment brings all sorts of other things that comes with making sure you reach out and touch your goals. Okay, so for me, it's not about the time, it's not about that. Our values are the same, our goals are different, and if we commit to it, we're always going to succeed. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. Nobody can tell me otherwise, because I've got committed to some things, man, and nobody could stop me. I was like a bull just running straight through a wall. It didn't matter what, I had to get it done. It had to be done. And from that, that's what I believe. Just commit to whatever you want, believe in yourself, and commit. You always get it done 100% of the time.
Yep. Get it done or die trying. Yeah,
Right.
we get that. Yep. Spencer, how about you? How's this topic kind of touched you?
Yeah. Well, like again, Ruben hit it on spot, and I think we got the same mindset because we're in the same industry, pretty much. And one thing I look for, Mark, is the three C's when I'm talking in interviewing purpose, because I really want to see the people skills for one. One of the C's I look for is coachability. You know what I mean? I put all my agents in a proven system. It's a plug and play system. It's kind of like McDonald's or Starbucks. It's the same process for every agent. You go to McDonald's, Starbucks, no matter what state or city, and they all look the same, got the same menu. And so we do the same thing. If you try to shortcut the system, you're not going to do well. It's no needing to reinvent the wheel. So we're trying to train them to duplicate ourselves. Because as they build their agency, they want to continue to duplicate themselves. They should be at a point, if they follow the system, if I'm into a meeting, if I have to lead a meeting for whatever reason, that agent is shadowing me ought to be able to pick up where I left off and continue the meeting the same way, because we're duplicating ourselves. We follow a system. And so we don't manage personalities here. We don't care how much money you made before you got here, how much money you're making while you're in here, what your title was when you was doing what you're doing previously. Everybody goes through the same system. The second C we look for is character. When I say character, I look for somebody with good character, someone that would represent the company brand with dignity and pride. You know what I mean? Our clients trust us with their personal information, you know, and their most prized assets. They give us their credit card number. They give us their social security numbers. And so I need somebody who's going to do right about the business and for the client. But the clients really don't care what you know until they know that you care. And so, you know, in this business, you can make $20,000 in 45 minutes. I need to know they're going to be able to handle that. I don't mind getting on social media say I make $20,000 a day, but I don't want them to say, Uncle John, I flipped over his retirement account, his 401k, and I made $70,000. You know, I don't want them to say they gave Aunt Mary a policy, insurance policy, and I found out she had breast cancer 3 years ago. She didn't tell the family. But guess what? You can't tell the family that. That's a HIPAA law. And so I need somebody who got good character and can handle success and keep things private and personally between them and the client. Can't share the information. Third thing, just as Mark said, Ruben said, I look for commitment. That's the third C. We don't have bosses in this business. There's nothing mandatory. They're in the business for themselves, but not by themselves. We help them out. We train them. We put them in front of $1 million trainers or millionaires. So I'm looking for somebody that's committed to spend, 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever they decide to come in part-time, full-time, or just referral, even just a client. Just spend some time developing their skill set by showing up to meetings, but as we're staying close to the fire. You know what I mean? I want my agents to want it better for themselves than I want it for themselves. I can only take them so far. You know what I mean? They say, as old saying, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. I at least want to make them thirsty. If they're not thirsty, I can't use them. They no good for me or clients.
I love that metaphor. Spencer, you got some good metaphors. That's funny. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Well, Ruben, Spencer, thank you both for sharing a little bit of your expertise and some of those insights today. All right. So the landscape of insurance recruitment is constantly evolving, and conversations like these help everybody navigate these changes more effectively. And to our audience, thank you so much for joining this discussion. Your questions were thoughtful, and they added a lot of value to our conversation. If you found this helpful, please remember to subscribe to our channel for more content like this, focused on insurance industry trends and best practices. All right. We'll be back next month with another discussion panel. And until then, thank you for watching, and best of luck with your recruitment efforts. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right.